Hello all. I guess I'll call this odd but simple contraption a bolster pipe. I use this nowadays on almost every pair of tongs I make. This small 9mm rod I've been using chipped off, but I annealed it so it's still safe to use. However, I'll make a new one during this video. For now, I'll use this old one just a couple more times. So that's it, just that simple. I found that small length of pipe in my travels, and the hole opening diameter is a little more than 9mm, and that's perfect for what I need. I had a hardy shank welded on, and also that rod to act as a helper for when I can't hold the tong blank. Again, the diameter is about 9mm here, whereas my Pritchell hole there is 13mm, and that's too big. Too much of the pivot area will get sucked downward and then deform that area of the tong. Again, I've got to make a new one of these pins. It's got to be a tool steel so it doesn't deform much. This piece of W1 should be perfect. So I've already drifted this tong half, but now that it's cold, the hole has shrunk some, so you can see here the pin still has to be forced in a bit. Want my tong rivet holes to be about 8.5mm, and so I'm making the pin 9mm to account for that shrinkage. My rivet stock here is 8mm round, but after you form a rivet, that does upset a little bit, so let's say that goes to somewhere near 8.5mm, hence why I want the final hold when cold to be about 8.5mm. When I punch my rivet holes in my tong blanks, I punch with a tapered punch and from two sides. And so the hole is not exactly straight up and down, there's a little bit of taper then. So drifting that hole out with this final pin, drifting through, helps to true all of that up. So it's probably very hard to see, but now the rivet diameter is just a little bit more than 8mm. For a new tong, you want the pivot to be snug and have a smooth action, but over time that will loosen up, and that's probably preferable, though you don't want too much variance or too much slop. The reason I say that loose though is okay is because tongs are meant to be manipulated with one hand quickly, and you don't want it to be frozen or unsmooth. So I need to grind this new pin down some. I'll use the old pin one more time. The bolster pipe and pin help me to form a perfectly cylindrical hole that's just the right size. That should be perfect. So I just finished punching the holes on this pair of blade tongs, and as you can see, my rivet here, which we assume to be about 8.5 millimeter in diameter, won't fit. So the final step is drift through with the bolster pipe and pin. The new pin is perfect. The rivet fits easily and with a little leeway because don't forget we're going to heat the rivet, and so that's also going to expand just a tiny bit. And so with the right size bolster, the tongue, the pivot area, the part that's facing downward, doesn't deform. There's no extra space for that material to get sucked into. When you're making the same thing again and again, you want to have at least some simple jigs and other contraptions to help you repeat the process consistently. And when you work alone, don't be afraid to try certain things that you think might work well for you. The action is snug and smooth, and there's no sticking points. We've got a lot more fooling around to do.